Good morning. Welcome to another Wine Steward video. You know, we do these every week, and I spend a lot of time within them telling you about upcoming events and maybe new products. And, you know, we allude to our wine bar, but we never focus on the wine bar. At least we rarely do. Why don't we rip through every one of these? What do we have here? 5, 10, 12, 13 different wines that are on the wine bar menu this week. Yes, this week. What's remarkable about the Wine Steward, I think, besides the fact that we've got the world of wine down there on the shelf, is that we do our best to represent it up here and do so by mixing it up, changing it up absolutely every week, so that we publish a new one of these every Monday. And you can come in any day of the week and enjoy a glass of wine, a flight, a tasting flight, both. I think the tasting flights are cool in that you get to try so many things, but they're kind of not helpful to each of the wines in the flight in that you're having soundbite tastes. You know, 2-ounce pours don't tell you the whole story. So maybe the way to do this is to have a flight, get inspired by one wine in particular, and come back to having a glass of that. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good system. Well, let's quench the thirst a little bit here. Why do you always see me with a glass of wine in my hand? Well, that means I believe in our product, right? Credibility for these wines. Every week we have a different sparkling wine on our menu. And this week it is something that we just gave to our wine club. Our February wine club bubbly club pack included Moutard. Moutard is a champagne producer making a non-champagne in this case, in that this is made south of Champagne in and around Burgundy. So it can't be called champagne. It can't even be called Crémant de Bourgogne because some of the fruit's in Burgundy, up near Chablis, and some of it is just outside, maybe right across the street from Burgundy, but that disqualifies it from being called Crémant de Bourgogne. Regardless, it's very good, 100% Chardonnay, made like champagne with the second fermentation happening in bottle. In other words, the inconvenient way. Moutard is our sparkling wine of the week. Let's just make sure one more time how good it is. Ooh, you wine club members are lucky, and the rest of you are this week, and that you get to try this Moutard. White wine flight. We will now take you all over the place. We love to do that. Sometimes, in fact, we're showing you nothing but Spain in the flight, or maybe focusing on one particular producer. But this time, we're jumping around. Why not? But there will be a little comparison between two of the same wine type within. We're going to start you off with a brand new Vinho Verde. Vinho Verde, that's how you say it, not necessarily Vino Verde, but if you come in and say Vino Verde, we'll know what you mean. This is Santola, now our least expensive and delightfully vibrant and slightly bubbly Vinho Verde from northern Portugal. It's a region, don't you know? Now, the cool thing about the next two wines is that they're both from the same region of the Loire Valley of France. The Western Loire Valley includes an area called Muscadet. Muscadet, not Muscadet, and this is not made with the Muscat grape. This is made with a grape called Melon de Bourgogne, a rather neutral flavored grape. It doesn't have a lot of character on its own, so what the producers there have learned to do is leave the wine on its lees. That's the creamy stuff at the bottom of the tank, the leftovers from the fermentation, and they confer extra character and texture to the wine. So both of these were aged that way in steel. This first one, Terroir Le Roi Mouton, is kind of entry-level quality. Actually, it's better than entry-level quality Muscadet, but it's the less expensive of the two you're gonna try here. Probably on the lees for maybe 9 months. Compared to that, wine number 3. This is from a producer called Clisson. Clisson is remarkable in that it is aged for up to 50 months on its lees. That's remarkable. So you must be saying, well, wait, 50 months? That's over 4 years, right? So how old is this Muscadet? Don't you drink Muscadet like from the last harvest or so? In other words, really young? This wine is a 1999 vintage. Yes, it's 7 years young. It's really vibrant, very lively, and it's got that beautiful texture from the lees, extra lees, aging up to 50 months. Remarkable. So 2 wines made of the Melon de Bourgogne grape from Western Loire Valley of France. in the specifically the Muscadet region. All right, now we're going to take you to Spain, the eastern part of Spain, which we call Catalonia, and which the Catalonians like to call their own place. Not so Spanish all the time. This is Herencia Altes from Terra Alta, which is basically adjacent to a better known place called Priorat. It's just south of Priorat in Catalonia. This is 100% Garnacha Blanca. This is where Grenache Blanc supposedly mutated from a red grape to a white. And this is, year in, year out, one of our most delicious examples of the Grenache Blanc or Garnacha Blanca grape. Herencia Altes is wine number 4 on the flight. Let's stay in the theme of Grenache, but now take you to a pink wine for the finale of the flight. This is much more locally grown in the Sonoma Valley, as a matter of fact, just maybe an hour and a half north of here. And this is called Grenachista or Grenachista. I'm not really sure how the producer would like to have his name pronounced, but this is a guy who, as the name implies, specializes in the Grenache grape. This is a domestic 2025. It's the first 2025 domestic dry rosé that we've brought in. It's delicious. I know already it's going to be one of the best of the year based on how it's tasting. You really got to indulge in a glass of this. And if it ever gets warm out there, look up a salade niçoise recipe and have it with this out on the patio. Now, in the middle here are 2 wines that we don't include in the flights, that we sell only by the glass, in order for, once again, you to fully know the wines. So a glass of wine will really tell you its story, right? And since we're jumping around in these flights all over the world, we thought, we often do this, we make the 2 by the glass wines maybe a little safer for you who don't have the courage or the desire necessarily to try foreign wines. So instead, we are giving you a full glass of Rath Pinot Noir, 2022 Rath Pinot Noir, focusing on the Pommard clones of number 4 and 777. Gibberish to most of us, I know, but the fun thing about Rath is they make several different Pinot Noirs every year and identify those bottlings by the clones of Pinot from which they're made. This is beautiful wine. You're gonna love it. It's not all that dark in color, but it is super fragrant and delicious. This is dark. This is Baby Blue, the newest vintage of Baby Blue from Sonoma County, focusing mainly on Alexander Valley fruit in Sonoma County. A Cabernet-based blend. It uses Cabernet, Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot. I think there's some Malbec, and I'm pretty sure there's a little Syrah in there too, just to break the law a little. So Baby Blue, big, dark, cab-like wine that you cab people will appreciate. Now, let's go to the red flight, shall we? Let's start with Grenachista, where we ended on the white or refreshing flight with that dry rosé. We are coming to that producer's red wine from a single vineyard, Mounts Vineyard in the Dry Creek Valley of Sonoma County. This is a beautiful medium, light to medium bodied Grenache. It's not trying to be heavy, but it's got a lot of character. Grenachista, Grenache. Starts off our red flight. Now we go very, very far away and sort of really far back in time for 8K. 8K, of course, is an abbreviation for 8,000, right? In 1,000 years, they're gonna have to change the name of this wine to 9K, I guess. This is made entirely of the Saperavi grape in what country? Georgia, the country of Georgia, not the state, okay? Does not go well with peaches. This is Saperavi from halfway around the world. This region thinks it's, and is probably right about thinking it, it's the oldest winemaking place in the world. At least 8,000 years old, as the name implies. 8K Saperavi from Georgia. Very friendly wine, very pleasant, a lot of fruit to it. Now we get a little more, I'm not going to say stodgy, but a little more serious because we're going to Bordeaux, France for a right bank Bordeaux. This is Sarro-Martin. This is going to be 90% Merlot because we are on that Merlot preferring right bank, and 5% Cab Franc and 5% Cabernet Sauvignon to finish it off. This is fantastic for those remaining rainy nights if we ever get another one, and your roasted meats. All right, a nice full-bodied Merlot-based Bordeaux. 2 wines to go. Let's go to Spain, shall we? This is Ondare Gran Reserva. This made the Brotarian group very happy the other night. We sold a lot of bottles, so I know they were happy. This is going to be Tempranillo that is aged for almost 2.5 years in mainly American oak. Ondare Gran Reserva Tempranillo, okay? It's a beautiful suave Rioja. It's a newcomer, you gotta try it. And now we come back home for the last wine, what I would call a nice reunion wine, in that we're back in bed, or not necessarily in bed, but we're friends once again. We always were friends, but the relationship was kind of long distance, and now it's intimate again. There we go, back to bed. This is Stoltman Vineyards, and as you may see, Stoltman has totally redesigned the label for their Syrah in particular. They're very proud of their Syrah as grown in their vineyard in Ballard Canyon, just west of Los Olivos in Santa Barbara County. This is a beautiful Syrah that I would submit is their very best estate Syrah ever. Yes, it's always had beautiful fruit, but now it's got extra Northern Rhone-ish character going on and some good solid tannins backing it up. This is Stoltman Estate Syrah. I couldn't be more happy to have reforged our relationship with La Quadrilla downstairs. A little bit of Sangiovese is there from Stoltman as well, and this gorgeous Syrah. Well, thank you for watching and listening, and we hope we can share these wines with you in person up here at our wine bar. We are open, oh gosh, at noon today, and as soon as we unlock that door, you can come right up and start enjoying these wines. How about that? Thank you again for all you do here. See you soon.